Much is happening. The various processes chosen by our earthly allies have received working schedules. As usual, a set committee meets at infrequent times with the Dark Cabal. In these meetings, our earthly allies provide the Dark's emissaries with a series of ultimatums. These ultimatums are usually based upon a series of legal decisions that prove the Dark is basically bankrupt and lacks its own oomph to carry out senseless military actions. In short, world opinion is turning solidly against them. The ancient families in particular possess formal IOUs, which have the power to prove the utter weakness of the Dark's fiat monetary system. The Dark realizes just how fragile their position is. The end time for this cabal draws ever closer. The ancient families wish to create not only a new system, but as well to create global conditions for the new consciousness to grow and flourish. We constantly remind them that the poor masses of humanity that cover this globe are dying and in pain. Their reply to us is that a process for change is underway and gaining momentum. There is to be a time for everything. We reply that heaven as well has a most glorious agenda. When the Atlanteans so ungratefully abandoned humanity, the people were left to starve and eventually die. In this instance, the Anunnaki arrived, and under a strict agreement with heaven, partially rose up the people and put them under the heinous yoke of their dark rule. Your ancestors were at first appreciative of their help. Deep in their hearts they vaguely knew what had so capriciously occurred. These new Dark Ones were attempting to replace the Atlanteans and erase their memories of who they really were. This troubled your ancestors as they realized that something wonderful needed to happen to return them to their former state. Eventually, as the millennia passed, your ancestors adapted to this limited reality. The golden ages after Atlantis proved to most of your ancestors that there were some rewards for supplication. Nevertheless, the hope of those who remembered the old world was a constant mantra for heaven to send a true champion. We were secretly appointed to watch over you and await further instructions. Since the destruction of Atlantis, your ancestors suffered as the Anunnaki mercilessly ruled over them. After the last golden age ended with the Great Flood, the Anunnaki selected minions to serve in their place as masters of you. The Anunnaki began to divide you into different groups and use this as a means for greater control. Moral rules to govern these societies were passed down, and many other rules were given to aid their minions in governing these very diverse groups. The minions were taught about war, hatred, and other ways to manipulate a society. By modern day, you had mostly forgotten about your past and accepted many of the precepts passed down from the previous 8 millennia. Your present societies are in reality changing how you look at this. The Anunnaki are gone. The minions prove to be a truly inept group. They only know what the very astute Anunnaki taught them. They have had easy access to wealth, power, and a general governmental indifference. This creates a kind of stupor, which can be used to finally finish them off. As consciousness grows, you begin to see how this realm can be changed. The ancient families work partially within the context of the old reality. Something new is needed that can quickly transform these millennia-old predicaments. We believe that a transparent and powerful movement can work to swiftly alter this realm. We have been suggesting this for years. Small groups intent on improving local conditions have popped up all over your globe. These tiny movements are gradually consolidating what is needed as major groups to come together and create networks with power. In other words, to do this with powerful benefactors who use their wealth to advance these numerous projects. To us, this is a more acceptable way. The Dark can then attempt to interfere. Let them, and use it to advance the power of this cause. Their corrupt methods can only lead to a true quiet revolution. This needed to be done a half-decade ago. The result of this growing consciousness can then oust these scalawags from power. The results are the same within a much smaller time frame. We are your ascended masters. We come with a message for all. Right now on Gaia, a great energy is moving into your various life zones. Each of these energies is building upon the other. The coming month of August is when these energies are to reach a crescendo. These energies are to become the foundation for another set of even higher energies that are to follow. These energies are activating parts of your mind, heart and body. These organs are the center point for a blessed set of changes that are to make you even more aware of the dimensional transformation. Back in 1972, a number of actions were undertaken to preserve this solar system. These were the initial instance of us aiding your reality. Be aware that to us, Gaia is a special planet as it served as the focal point for the start of this galaxy. Ever since we became masters, we became deeply aware of what this divine living orb truly is. It is a blessing to know that its preservation is a divine part of our many sacred duties. As you grow in consciousness, you can better sense her immense importance to this solar system. These new energies are part of a continuing system of energies that began to flow into Gaia at the start of this millennium. These energies are to be the jump-starter of the preliminary energies needed to start your changes. At present, most of your aura has been integrated into fields that power Gaia. As she naturally grows, so do you. In August, the next sets are to commence flowing into this orb. We are regulating these energies and the transformations they are to cause. They are, in fact, a type of tonal pattern needed to move you to your next stage of growth. The dark has become aware of what is happening, and we are assuring heaven that our protection extends throughout this surface world. Meanwhile, the dark is as well discovering that its plans to prevent these transformations are badly failing. The light is drawing closer each day to a most blessed victory. The blessed song of heaven is reverberating throughout this realm. We ask that you remain positive and use your mostly untapped inner powers to see that this timely change happens as planned. Each of you is in reality a jewel of heaven. Use your collective abilities to permit these brilliant inner jewels to shine. If you look around you, you can then see this grand energy in action. Visualize this, and in so doing allow your brethren to shine with the brilliance so great that it ends the power of the dark and lets the light of heaven in. Let this be the time of a great end to those who in the dark's name kept all of you doubting who you are and what you are capable of. The time comes to let this realm know that your merciful guardian energies are preparing to emerge and create a new realm filled with peace, cooperation, and joy. Hallelujah! A new time of freedom and prosperity is nearly upon us. Today we continued with our weekly messages to inform you of what is happening across this globe. Our space and inner earth families are providing the grounds for the great set of changes that are currently underway. We thank all who are so graciously aiding all of us in this mission to transform humanity. Know, dear ones, that the countless supply and never-ending prosperity of heaven are indeed yours. So be it.